Hi there. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up Harmony Link, Project Harmony.AI's AI character middleware software. It works like a bridge between AI technologies and apps or games that do not have AI features on their own. If it supports Harmony Link natively or through a plugin, you can add AI to it without complicated setup or coding required. The easiest way to get Harmony Link is to download it from our website. After download, unzip to a folder and navigate into it. Inside the folder, you will find the binary for Harmony Link, README files, and a config sample file. You can either create a copy of that sample file and rename it to config.json so Harmony Link can find it directly, or just run Harmony Link. It will also create a config.json file if the file is not present. You can now start Harmony Link by double-clicking on the binary file. Two windows will open up. One is a CMD window, which will also show log output for Harmony Link, and the other one is the Harmony Link configuration UI. Please note that Harmony Link will always start in standalone mode, so if you want to use Harmony Cloud features, you need to enable that option first. Enabling the cloud features allows you, for example, to use Harmony.AI's public speech and expression APIs without having to run these things locally or using a third-party provider for this. To enable it, just tick the Use Harmony Cloud checkbox in the general settings of Harmony Link and click Save. Harmony Link will ask you whether it should make a backup of the existing config file. In this case, we click No, and then we restart Harmony Link. After starting it up again, you can see in the log that it's authenticating with Harmony backend, updating your API key, and confirming that the authentication was done successfully. After that, you can go back to your entity settings and you should be able to use the models provided by our API for your setup. Also make sure you're using the right API URL so it can load the models. After making changes, also make sure to always save your voice configs and your entity settings. Speaking of entities all the time, let me give you a little more details about what entity settings actually do and what entities are. An entity in Harmony Link can be considered both a setup instruction and a consciousness manager for an AI character. For each entity, you can configure different modules which extend the capabilities of an AI character in-game, provided that the game or the Harmony plugin also supports these capabilities. Depending on the module and the available providers per module, you have different setup options available to customize the behavior of how the AI in-game will make use of the modules. For module providers like Harmony.AI's speech engine for text-to-speech, you can basically make all setup tweaks inside Harmony Link, while cloud backends like Kashiboto or 11 Labs may require additional configuration on their platforms. You can use the config UI to create multiple entity configurations with individual setup parameters and the custom name. Plugins and applications supporting Harmony Link can then connect to Harmony Link and initiate a new session for an entity. Inside the log window, you can see logs whether a connection and entity initialization was successful. Future versions of Harmony Link will also include extended visual feedback for connecting plugins. For help with the setup, also note that there is a question mark next to almost every UI component. If you click on it, a tooltip will open up, providing further guidance on what it does. To give you a better example, let me quickly guide you through how to set up two entities in Harmony Link, for example, to use them with Java Studio later on. First of all, let's remove that AI jar entity that we just created, since we don't need it. Next up, make sure the Kaji entity is selected in the entity list and that you select the AI backend LLM engine module. As a provider, we already have Kashiboto AI pre-selected in this case, and this is what we will be using. First, enter your username and your password, and then go to the Kashiboto website. You can copy the URL of your character chat and just paste it into the chat room URL field here. Make sure to save the settings also after making any changes. To enable facial expressions for the entity's AI character, switch to the countenance module and make sure it's not disabled, and if using Harmony.AI as a backend provider, make sure it's either pointing to our Harmony Cloud endpoint or your locally running TextGen API. Finally, we need to set up the text-to-speech module to give this AI character its voice. For this example, we'll also be using the Harmony Cloud and our voice cloning model Harmony Speech version 1. To clone a voice, you can select any audio file from your local machine. In this case, we'll pick that one. After loading it into Harmony Link, you can also click the play button here to listen to it.
つまり、今のは海水の塊だ。
Now we scroll down here a little bit and continue with the next steps. The first step needed to clone a voice using Harmony Speech is always to generate an embedding of the audio file, so we click on Generate Embedding here. After a few seconds, you'll see that the embedding process finished, and you'll see a small image here visualizing the characteristics of the embedding data. Harmony Speech version 1 only supports the English language, and is also just cloning the input voice by default, so you can't make any changes there. However, you can modify speed, energy, and pitch of the cloned voice if you like. We'll however just skip that for now. You can test your voice generation by using the speech generator at the bottom.
This is a sample text.
If you like the results, make sure to save the voice configuration under a new name so it's linked to the entity, and then also save the entity configuration. Finally, we just need to set up the user entity, which is used by the Harmony plugins to handle speech input by the player. Once you've selected the user entity, switch to the speech-to-text module. We are also using the Harmony Cloud for this one. Make sure the endpoint is correct and verify the model options for voice activity detection and transcription are to your liking. Usually want a small, fast model for VAD and a more powerful large model for transcription. For the sake of time, I won't go into details of the mechanics at this point, but feel free to reach out via Discord if you have questions. As always, make sure to save your settings, and that's it. We are ready to connect with our Kara Studio plugin. Restart Harmony Link to ensure a clean reload and connect to it from Kara Studio. If everything is set up correctly, you should see successful log messages in Harmony Link's output and see the scene load correctly in Kara Studio. Let's do a quick test to see if everything's working correctly. Hey Azumi, how are you doing?
Hey there, I'm doing pretty well actually. Just finished implementing this awesome parallax scrolling effect on my latest site design.
Okay, let's stop here. The performance in this quick test actually was a bit underwhelming, I think. However, I recently had to migrate the cloud stuff and things aren't very well optimized yet. So for best latency at the moment, I'd also recommend to run everything locally. A tutorial for how to do that is provided in the description as well. Anyways, I hope this gave you a good impression on how to set up and configure Harmony Link. Hope you enjoy using our software, and feel free to reach out via Discord in case you have questions, need help, or just want to be part of our growing community. If you think this project is useful, please also consider supporting us via Patreon. As always, thanks for watching and have a great time.